So glad you're still with me on the Words devotional, and today we're looking at beautiful words. In Psalm 12, it says, "The words of the Lord are flawless, like silver purified in a crucible, like gold refined 7 times." Psalm 119 says, "How sweet are your words to my taste, sweeter than honey in the honeycomb." And Psalm 104, or verse 104 says, "I gain understanding from your precepts, and I hate every wrong path." And 160 says, "All your words are true, your laws are eternal." So back at the beginning of this devotional, I mentioned that words are like apples of gold in pictures of silver. That's referring to fitting words, words spoken at the proper and opportune time. In other words, words from God. Psalm 12, we just read, says the words of the Lord are flawless, like silver purified in a crucible, and like gold refined 7 times. So what's a fitting word? If the Lord's words are flawless, like apples and silver, just what is a fitting word, or a word fitly spoken? A spoken word in season to a weary soul is a fitting word. A word of salvation and reconciliation to those in need of grace is a fit word. There are some surrounding similes to look at as we consider this picture of a fit word being an apple of gold set in silver. A person that promises gifts but never gives them is like clouds that promise rain but nothing happens. That kind of word or promise leaves us disappointed, much like the forecast we daily watch or listen to. The best of forecasters often offer us hope for rain, but nothing happens. A trustworthy messenger is like a cold drink at harvest. Both are refreshing. Think about when you're tired or weary from work and someone delivers you a message of hope and a cold drink that refreshes your soul. Those are good and comforting words. Back to the apples and gold and silver. A wise word spoken at the proper time is a thing of beauty. Simply stated, think about the courtroom when a verdict is pronounced. For the one seeking justice, if the judgment is in their favor, there's great rejoicing in the courtroom, and the accused is set free. It's that kind of beauty, and an incorrect judgment is terrible, isn't it? Apples of gold and settings of silver might actually be a work of an art that is referred to here, a thing to pause and look at, rather than an actual gold set in a silver bowl. But for summary, it's a word spoken at the right time, wise words, comforting and freeing and favorable words, ones that put the accuser to silence. And the second description of the Lord's words is that they're sweeter than honey, the sweetest substance found in nature. Sweet to the taste, words we don't want to spit out, but we want to swallow and savor. So here we have 3 descriptions of fitting words. Words of truth from his mouth, they're like apples of gold in settings of silver, sweeter than honey, and true. And they're spoken at precisely the right time to bring down judgment on the accuser, to set the accused person free. We all have a mouthful of words, but we're often not sure of when or how to speak them, even if they're truthful, or we have a right to say them, or they're even wise. We often speak them at the wrong time with a wrong motive or without sound judgment, and the outcome is anything but beautiful and show-stopping. But not so with the Lord's words. None of his words are casually spoken out of turn or with intent to hurt, spoken on a whim or in an outburst. Those would be words not fitly spoken. But because his words are truth, they're words from the Father's mouth to his ears, and they're from a pure heart of the Son of God, they're actually like honey, that substance that is not tainted with additives. This is a huge concept to grasp when it comes to hearing his words versus the words of others, and in taking care before we speak. Words of truth that intend to set others free are fitly spoken, and they're bookended with compassion and grace. So if we hear words whispered in our mind or spoken by others that aren't fitly spoken, they have no power or jurisdiction over our hearts and minds. When we speak, we desire to speak fitly and timely words to our kids, our spouses, those around us. Words that intend to bring freedom, bookended with compassion and grace. Jesus' words as he hung on the cross were fitly spoken. It is finished, which is enough words to carry us through this life. Death is finished. Sin is erased. Judgment is pronounced, accusations are silenced, and a thing of beauty, the resurrection, is about to take place, and the accused are set free. What are you listening to? Words of life that have already been spoken over us? Beautiful words of truth from his mouth that we are set free? Yes, fitting words, spoken in a timely manner that we hear and believe coming from the mouth of our Savior. Any other words are to be discarded in favor of these apples of gold in settings of silver sweeter than honey to all that hear.